Well, do you know the words deja vu come to mind? Let's begin. Now, of course, every day it seems like Keir Starmer's reminding us that he's going to smash the gangs and end illegal immigration once and for all, or whatever other crap he comes out with. Unfortunately, after unveiling his grand plan on how to do that today, it looks like more of a flop than flip-floppy Keir Starmer himself. Even though, of course, from what I remember, he branded the Rwanda plan nothing but a gimmick. But his plan might actually turn out to be more of a gimmick than what that was. Even though, of course, he says it plans to tackle the migration at the source. He also said, wait for this, that his efforts would be a vital part in gripping the migration crisis as issues in those countries apparently echo home, and the effects play out on our streets, adding it's a dangerous world that we serve no one and would solve nothing by turning inwards. So why am I against this then? Why do I not think it's going to work? Well, can anyone remember not so long ago when Rishi was just, let's say, having a bit of trouble getting the Rwanda plan through because all the lefty lawyers out there, that quite often he seemed to think that the better way around it would probably just be to chuck some money to France and let them deal with the situation. Well, this is where the deja vu part comes in my opinion, and that is because in order to tackle the migration crisis at source, as what Keir Starmer says, he will be giving them some money. But how much money? Is it going to be the same amount of money that Rishi gave France? Well, apparently, according to this, it is £84 million of our tax money, which is going to go towards this. And I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure there's much better things that could be spent on. Oh, and before some smart arse says in the comments, "Oh, really? Well, they're not going to do it for free, are they? Oh, I hate the smug one." And yes, of course, whilst they won't help us for free, surely you'd like to think that these countries would want to stop any illegal immigration into their own countries. So you'd think, wouldn't you, that they'd already be doing that, wouldn't you, eh? And also remember, when Rishi gave France all that money, it didn't really turn out too well for him, did it? Because let's face it, nothing much really changed. So, I can't really see it working this time, but how is the money going to be divided out? Well, apparently £13 million is to expand the migration for development programmes in North and East Africa, 21 million in multilateral support for key host transit countries, including Libya, Egypt and Chad, £26 million for programmes across the Middle East and wider region to support Syrian refugees, £24 million in direct funding to support communities in Sudan, Chad and Ethiopia, I can't say that country's name, and an additional £2 million will go towards supporting the international organisation for migration projects in Libya. So why don't I think it's going to work? Well, remember, yes, of course he's given them the money to do that, but it just makes me wonder how much of that money will actually be spent on the things it's meant to be spent on. Are we going to start to be in a situation where if they need to buy toilet roll, suddenly their version of a toilet roll or whatever is going to cost something stupid like their version of £100, and the extra £99 will just get back pocketed or spent on something else or lost or whatever, eh? Either way, though, I do think we really do need to keep an eye on how the money is spent. And also, I just can't help but thinking that if we just turn the boats around that come here back to the safe country of France, then they'll soon get the message, and I guess, we can actually save £84 million, and then that could be spent on other things, eh? But I guess that's just too simple an approach for Keir Starmer to understand. He even said on Thursday's EPC meeting, which apparently stands for European Political Community, so it's one of their special meetings, I'm guessing anyway, had seen the government resetting our approach and deepening our cooperation with the European partners in order to tackle illegal migration, including increasing the UK's presence at Europol, agreeing new cooperation agreements with Slovenia and Slovakia, and tackling organised crime, and a commitment to share more intelligence to put the gangs out of business. And whilst, of course, I just can't help but think that whilst those gangs, might get put out of business, there'll be a new one spring up because, of course, as a lot of people have said already, it does appear to be quite profitable, and that being the case, it does make you wonder, doesn't it, why these refugees or whatever who come here illegally from the safe country of France, what is actually stopping them coming over here legally? Because obviously, most of the time, from what I've heard, they actually pay to come over here quite a lot of money. So if they can fill in the forms and pass all the checks, unless, of course, they actually have a problem with that, and maybe just say speed up their time to get here. And also, what Keir Starmer is not thinking about it, while he's dishing out money to all these countries, if someone wants to come here from wherever they are and have to go through those countries, then they're not actually staying in those countries, are they? They're just passing through. Unless, of course, they are actually from those countries. But at the same time, why should it be up to us to give other countries' governments money to make sure their citizens are happy to stay where they're from, whilst quite a lot of our own citizens back in the UK are struggling in the middle of a cost of living crisis. I mean, I don't know about you, but to me that just seems a little bit nonsensical. And obviously, admittedly, a lot of that money will go towards stopping the gangs or smashing the gangs or however he wants to put it. And let's face it, a lot of people are going to be watching Keir Starmer very closely just to see how well this may or may not work, because remember, he's under quite a lot of pressure now to make sure his plan does indeed work, because apparently channel crossings, according to this, have reached 14,000 people already have made the dangerous crossing that says in 2024. I think from what I've heard that number is actually a lot higher now at 15,000, and over 1,000 since Keir Starmer's actually been Prime Minister. And obviously this is going to take time for it to work, so no doubt of course that's going to give him the buffer he needs to make excuse for any high numbers until then, along with, of course, blaming the Tory government, which no doubt we'll hear him do on many other things. It just seems that will be the case, doesn't it? Either way, though, whilst of course the Rwanda plan was stopped before even a flight took off, it does make me wonder how long it would actually been before a flight would have taken off, especially as other European countries, from what I've heard, were planning to do a similar thing. So it just makes me wonder if those plans start to work in other European countries where they're now saying that they'd do their own version of the Rwanda plan. Just makes me wonder how soon, if at all, if Keir's plan doesn't work, which no doubt of course I don't think it will, it just makes me wonder if we will ever try and do the same thing again. And if so, Keir Starmer's bound to eat a load of humble pie,